I've been using the MacBook Neo for about a week now, so I'm going to go over the pros, the cons, and everything in between to try to answer a few questions. Should you buy this computer, and who should buy this computer? So the computer was announced middle of this year, and it was $599 starting, which is really, really good, especially for a MacBook. But when they announced the specs, we found out how it's so cheap, and that's because they're using an iPhone chipset, the iPhone 16 Pro, with the A18 Pro, so it's not an M series. It has 8 gigs of RAM. You can only buy it in two configurations, a 256 model and a 512 model. The 512 model has a Touch ID sensor, so if you want that biometric, then you need to get that variant. Otherwise, you'll just have a lock button on the top right corner. So as you see, this is the Touch ID model in the indigo color. So it's a 512 gigabyte version. There's a Touch ID sensor there. If you don't have it, you'll see a lock button instead. It has the modern keyboard of any high-end MacBook, which is really, really good, and a relatively good-sized trackpad. It's in the typical unibody design, so you definitely can't go wrong with the design of the computer. It has some of the high-end features like the webcam and the display for what you pay for. This is definitely a good price. So you don't have to worry about the build or any of that. There are a few corners that I'm going to get into in a bit that Apple cut that can be a little limiting. So we'll go and get to that. The first one's going to be the keyboard. This is not a backlit keyboard, so keep that in mind if you do work in the dark or if you're not familiar with a keyboard. This may be an issue for you, especially in low light, because the keys are a bit dim, so it'll be hard to see. So just keep that in mind. The display is really good. It gets plenty bright and relatively dim if you need it to go down in brightness for whatever reason if you work in the dark. It's a 60 hertz panel, so it's right in the middle of really bad and really good. So it's not a TN panel with really bad colors, and it's not a ProMotion display you'd find on the MacBook Pro. So for what you pay for, it's really, really good. And that's great because you're going to be looking at this often. So I think that's a good choice Apple made. The speakers are relatively nice, but you will notice that they are a bit on the weaker side because they are small. They're not going to be bass heavy or anything. And to be honest, you won't be really using the speakers as much as many people think. If you're going to watch movies and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and assume you're going to get headphones or maybe some AirPods or something. So they do the job. They get plenty loud. And with the trackpad as well, the trackpad is a good size. It supports all the gestures as I'm demonstrating here. It is an actual button, so just keep this in mind. It's not a force touchpad. And we'll see as time goes on how this will fare up. Will the button maintain its clickiness? Will it get jammed with dust and grease and all that other stuff? But it is a full button and it supports all the gestures, so you don't have to worry about any of that in terms of getting around Mac OS. So that's a nice choice they chose to keep the costs down, because I know the Force Touch can be a bit of an expense. So that's nothing to worry about if you like to use the trackpad on a laptop. It's not a diving board mechanism, so that's a really good choice they made there. So now we're going to get into some speaker stuff. Let's go ahead and take a listen on the speaker quality and just let me know in the comments what you think. So let's listen. Okay, so now I'm going to play some more video here, but this time it's going to have voices in it. So you'll be able to hear, like, say, a podcast or a lecture or whatever you're using. So let's take a listen to the voice part of the video and see what you think of it. Okay, now that you expose the connectors, be very careful when removing them and remove them from their socket. So for any student or any just casual user, this is a great computer. But the limitations are going to be in the ports here. So you have two ports and only two ports with one headphone jack. The port that I'm pointing at right there on the right is a USB 2.0 port, which is really slow. So if you're using hard drives, flash drives, or even charging the computer, do not use the one furthest from the screen. It's a 2.0 port and you're going to get the slowest speeds. Use the 3.0 one. That's a really big limitation, so just keep that in mind. And of course, you're going to need a dongle because 2 ports isn't enough to do really anything. So just keep that in mind. You have to add that to your accessories list. But if you're a student or a casual user, this is a must in terms of bang for your buck. This is definitely the new budget king for computers. You can't get better than this. It's great build, great internals. You have a good display, good keyboard. It's just all around a really good computer. If you're looking for anything other than casual, like editing, photos, videos, or any of that, just get the MacBook Air. This will run into limitations quickly. So I hope this helped you, and if it did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will do my best to follow up on any questions you have or comments, or just show some limitations of this computer because this is a relatively new design. So just let me know if you have anything, concerns, questions. Let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. But I think all in all, it's a good computer for entry level. You can't go wrong with the MacBook Neo. So I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.